Now let's start with what had people talking in the first place. The way Martell Holt gets so stuck on whether people find him handsome or not is wild. I mean, did you hear that part? Somebody said they thought Martell was handsome, and he just latched onto that like it was the biggest thing ever. Why is that so important to him? Why is that his focus when there are much bigger conversations going on? TV Scott jumped in, and honestly, I have to agree with her, because it feels like Martell doesn't have respect for anyone around him. He plays up this ego, this need for validation, instead of focusing on what really matters. Keep watching, because this ties into some of the deeper conversations later in the episode where Martell exposes more about his mindset. And speaking of mindset, let's talk about the way people are still side-eyeing Martell's dynamic with Arrion Curry. The fact that Arion's name is still coming up this much, the fact that her presence continues to linger around the storyline, tells you everything you need to know. It's messy, it's complicated, and it's not going away anytime soon. Kimmy even made a comment about not calling Arrion a side chick because she has a name, but fans saw right through that. A lot of viewers felt like Kimmy was almost trying to normalize Arion's place in Martell's life. And honestly, people weren't here for it. It raised questions about Kimmy's credibility, because how can you sit there and defend someone who's caused so much hurt in Melody Shari's life? Keep watching, because this conversation about Arrion doesn't stop here. It gets even more complicated later. Now here's where things took a sharp turn. Maurice, Scott, and Martell had a sit-down, and the way that conversation played out was something else. Maurice asked Martell straight up about seeing certain things, and the way Martell responded had people in disbelief. He started talking about his anatomy, saying that there are certain unique things you wouldn't forget. Like what? Who even brings that up in a serious conversation? It was messy, it was inappropriate, and it left everyone questioning what the real point of the conversation even was. But let me tell you, Martell wasn't done stirring the pot, so don't skip ahead, because what he said next made everything even messier. While all this was happening, Marsau Scott's name came up too, because let's be honest, Martell has always had this weird jealousy toward Marsau. It's been obvious. People have been saying it for seasons now, and you could see it again in this episode. It's like Martell can't stand that Marsau has his own thing going on, his own influence and his own position in the group. And instead of focusing on fixing his own issues, Martell just projects all that energy outward. Keep watching till the end, because the way Martell tries to flip things back onto Marsau and Maurice later on is wild. And listen, the situation didn't stop there. Martell actually told Maurice to sue him and Arrion Curry. Yes, you heard that right. He called Maurice's bluff. Martell said, "Sue us," and reminded Maurice that he's supposed to be an attorney. And then Maurice basically admitted that suing them wouldn't be worth anything, because he wouldn't get anything out of it. That was a big checkmate moment for Martell. For once, he actually shut Maurice down in the middle of an argument. It's rare that we see Maurice at a loss for words, but that moment definitely had him stuck. Martell may be messy, but in that exact second, he knew how to play the game. Don't click away, because this lawsuit talk connects to even more drama later in the season. Now, if you think that was enough to cause chaos, Destiny also popped into the mix. Destiny posted something on her Instagram that raised eyebrows. She liked the clip that showed Kimmy trying to get Maurice to check Martell, and that small action made people wonder if Destiny was picking sides. If you've been watching the last few episodes, you know there's been a lot of tension about who Destiny would side with if LaTisha Scott asked her to choose. And now, seeing her like that post has fans whispering that maybe Destiny is leaning toward Kimmy in LaTisha's corner. But is it genuine, or is it just her way of staying connected to the group? That's the big question, and fans aren't letting it go. Stick around, because the way Destiny aligns herself could shift some dynamics moving forward. And here's the thing. Martell tried to turn the tables and claim that he's tired of always being painted as the villain. Maurice told him flat out that he's been playing the villain role so long that he's become comfortable being seen that way. And honestly, Maurice wasn't lying. Martell has leaned into that villain narrative because he feels like everyone's always against him. But instead of showing growth, instead of pulling back, he just doubles down. And when he says he hates the negativity, it's hard to believe him because his act. And you know what's even more frustrating? The way kids get dragged into all of this. Kimmy made a point about protecting kids and family, but fans weren't buying it. People pointed out that her own stepson has said he views Maurice more like a big brother than a father, and that he actually looks at Marsau as more of a father figure. That raised serious questions about Kimmy's household and her credibility when she talks about parenting and protecting kids. If you can't manage your own family dynamics, how are you going to sit there and lecture others about theirs? Don't skip this part, because the conversation about kids, family, and accountability is one of the biggest reasons fans stay glued to this show. And let's be real, the double standards are loud here. When a man steps up to raise a child that isn't biologically his, he gets praised and that's fine. But when a mother doesn't demand that same level of effort from her husband for her own child, suddenly it becomes excusable in people's eyes. That double standard is dangerous. It sends the wrong message about love, family, and partnership. A blended family should never feel like a competition between kids and spouses, but that's exactly what's happening here. And you already know fans are not going to stay quiet about that. Keep watching until the very end, because I'm going to break down how these double standards are affecting not just the cast, but the way fans are reacting to them in real time. The truth is, kids remember everything. They remember who was there for them and who wasn't. They remember who chose them and who didn't. And those memories don't just fade away, they shape how they see relationships in the future. That's why these conversations on love and Marriage Huntsville matter so much. They're not just drama for the cameras. They're lessons about accountability, respect, and love. Whether it's Martell refusing to take responsibility, Kimmy looking the other way, or Maurice pretending like he doesn't know what's going on, all of these actions add up. Don't miss the ending of this video, because I'll wrap it all together and show you exactly why these choices matter in the bigger picture. Now let's circle back to the most shocking part again, Martell telling Maurice to sue him and Arrion. That moment is going to stick with viewers for a long time because it was so bold. It was like Martell was daring Maurice to actually take action. And when Maurice admitted that it wouldn't be worth it, the entire room shifted. That's when you know Martell is tired of playing defense and is now playing offense. He's ready to call people's bluff and expose hypocrisy wherever he sees it. Whether you agree with him or not, you have to admit that moment was pure strategy. Keep watching because this one interaction could be the start of a whole new wave of drama between Martell, Maurice, and Marsau. And as we wrap things up, let's not forget Destiny. Her alignment, her posts, her likes, they might seem small, but they carry weight. Viewers are paying attention to every move she makes, and the cast knows it. That's why these little actions get magnified into big conversations. The tension between Destiny, LaTisha, Kimmy, and even Melody lingers in the background, and it's going to spill into the storyline again sooner or later. Don't click away, because this show thrives on those little seeds that eventually grow into explosive moments. So here's where I leave it with you. What do you think about Martell's boldness in telling Maurice to sue him and Arrion? Do you believe that Kimmy's comments about protecting family are genuine? Or do you see the same double standards fans are calling out? Do you think Destiny really picked a side? Or is she just trying to stay relevant? And most importantly, do you believe the producers are trying to set the stage for Arrion to officially join the cast? Because if that happens, we already know the drama is going to be out of control. Stay tuned, stay locked in, and make sure you watch until the very end of every episode, because the tea just keeps spilling. And trust me, the mess we've already seen is only the beginning. The best or the worst, depending on how you look at it, is still yet to come.